From T. Hayes. Hello, John, Rob, and Ashley, and whoever else may be there. Did you read the news that James Gunn was offered Man of Steel 2 before settling on Suicide Squad 2? I think that Suicide Squad is a better fit, but to me, the bigger news is that Warner Brothers was talking about Man of Steel recently. Do you think this means that Superman is on the table for discussion if the right director comes along?
Okay, first of all, there's a lot of misinformation running around on this right now because, as T. Hayes just said, there's a bunch of people saying, hey, oh my gosh, did you hear they offered James Gunn Man of Steel 2? And that's kind of running the gambit right now. And of course, that's got people going, well, wait a minute. We thought Warner Brothers wasn't planning on another Superman movie and they offered him Man of Steel 2. Let's be very clear on this, okay? James Gunn was not offered Man of Steel 2. Okay, here's what happened. We've known for a while that when James Gunn was going to part ways with Disney, that every studio was lining up. We saw the reports. Every studio was lining up to try to woo James Gunn to come into their camp, right? And we knew Warner Brothers was one of those studios that was lining up. What has happened here is that Warner Brothers just basically put it all on the table for James Gunn. And it was, James, you come over here. Now, I'm going to guess Batman probably wasn't on the table because that's kind of under Reeves right now. I'm going to guess Wonder Woman probably wasn't on the table because that's safely under Patty Jenkins right now. But I'll tell you what, I think those were the only things not on the table.
Sure.
I think Warner Brothers went to James Gunn and said, listen, James, whatever you want to do, we're not even planning on doing another Superman movie. You want to do Superman? You do Superman. I'll tell you what, I almost guarantee you they offered him Justice League too. I almost guarantee you probably Walter Miles like, look, we're not even planning on talking about Justice League again, but hey, James, if you want to do Justice League, maybe. And that's what it was. They offered him the character of Superman to do whatever he wanted with. It wasn't Man of Steel 2. It was whatever you want. Queen, whatever want a Nabi, or whatever she's called in Lego Movie. Whatever you want, James, you come on in. So there shouldn't be any confusion here. This doesn't mean Warner Brothers wasn't telling the truth and they said they don't have any plans right now for another Superman movie. It's just that to get James Gunn, we'll do another Superman movie if that's what you want to do, James. But of course, James has that, what's it called? Brightburn. He's got that Superman kind of horror twist. So that probably leaned him away from it a little bit. But they put it all on the table, and James Gunn, not surprisingly, went, you know what's really up my alley? Suicide Squad. Great. But I don't want to do it with the existing Suicide Squad cast. No problem. I basically kind of want to be retooling. You do whatever you want to do, James. Sure. You do whatever you want to do. And that's what it was. So now they didn't offer him Man of Steel 2. They just offered him Superman if he wanted to do something with it, but he chose against it. Rob, you heard about this with James doing that. Do you think James maybe missed an opportunity with Superman? Or do you think he made the right choice going with Suicide Squad?
No, I absolutely think he made the right choice. I think what people forget is if you're going to make a movie about Superman, it's really hard to come up with a story that a movie will support.
True.
Because he can do everything. How do you, unless you're fighting the three villains from Krypton or maybe Brainiac, what do you do for a Superman movie? I mean, the great thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the characters can have real everyday problems. You know, they have pathos and emotion and things that are easier to put into a story than a Superman story because Superman is so powerful. And I think he did say that he read Superman comics, that he went and did some research. And I think after doing that, you realize how problematic making a movie about Superman is. It's the same, look at Supergirl. It's like, let's get rid of Superman. So I think he made the right choice. And that way, doing Suicide Squad, he can make it uniquely his. Superman would never be his. You know,
that's a really good observation. That's a good point. So. That reminds me, one of the things that I really did appreciate about Superman Returns, talking about, the MCU characters can have everyday problems. One of the things that I think they did great in Superman Returns was the fact that they really highlighted, what problems can the God Man have?
Right, exactly.
And they really played that up, that complete disconnection. Like he's always struggled with how to be human and how to engage with other people and humanity, even Lois. I mean, and that's one of the things. There were a number of problems with Returns, but I thought that was one of the things they did really well. And I think you make a great point about the whole thing about, if he did Superman, he might make a good Superman movie, but it'll never be James Gunn's Superman.
Right.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy is James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
And maybe he can do that with Suicide Squad. That's an interesting point.